Good evening, fellow Nigerians. It is I again, Nelson Oluwabukola Michael. I promised on during one of the chats with our stakeholders and contributors this afternoon on Facebook that the AA2 project team was going to be given a pre-election analysis, and that would form the basis of our discussions tonight. Before I go further, I want to thank every one of you that has encouraged us in so many different forms. It's so astounding the kind of support we've been getting from individuals and organizations, and they're ready to go with us once we hit the road and we get this program running. And we've decided to keep a lot of things under wraps so that we don't sell our ideas to people who might just take it and make a mess of it. So we thank every one of you. A lot of people have sent texts and they've made phone calls asking how they could fund our program and how they could be of help. And the time is coming when we'll be able to create a formal platform for every one of you to be able to do that. As well, we've met a lot of people who have told us that all we're going about is nonsense and that perhaps Nigeria should be left to rot because it is destined to rot. But that is not how we see it. Nigeria is a great nation, and for the sake of our children, we are going to do everything it takes. If it's going to take a journey of 1,000 miles for us to get to where we need to get to, we believe that if we can move 10 miles out of those miles, then the next generation can take it from there and move and run with it. So we believe in our dream. We believe that God has destined for this to happen at this point in time. And we thank every one of you who has given comments on Facebook, even though we disagree on a lot of perceptions and opinions. You are part of this, and it's a democratic process. So it is not a one-man show. It is not a win-win show. It is a platform for us to disagree and agree and see from the other person's perspective. I mean, we are youth, and we have a different and unique generation, and that is how we arrive at conclusions, and decisions. So I want to thank every one of you once again. We are so encouraged by your support and your comments and your contributions. Pray that God will bless you and God will crown our efforts. So what is the basis of our discussions tonight? We are given a pre-election analysis. So we want to know where we were before now. So before now, it's been a business as usual in Nigeria. And as one of my friends mentioned during our discussions this afternoon, the Nigerian society is beginning to change, and not because of the actions of the government or because of the actions of one party or APC or PDP. It is because of the active participation of the citizens, and we need to intensify our efforts at doing the things we've already started. We need to ensure that the things we are doing right now do not end once the election is over. So before now, the government has no listening here, and it's just like the government lives in a different world and the people live in a different world. But recently we've seen the Lagos state government promising to provide electricity in 6 months. We've seen the federal government tackle Boko Haram successfully or impressively, as I would love to put it. We've seen the implementation of the 50% tariff reduction on the cost of electrical products. And we've seen the implementation of the criminal justice law that I believe are great efforts by the current government to take Nigeria to where it belongs. And I'm not saying this to influence your vote or not, and we're still coming to that. So a lot of good things is beginning to happen, and I'll tell you one thing that's making this to happen is our using our voices and telling the government that we know what we're doing and we know what we want. So where are we presently? Presently, we're in a state where the government is ready to listen to us, and where our voice matters. And if I would analyze the two parties, I would say we've seen a lot of cross-carpeting from PDP to APC, and at the same time we've seen a lot of progress that the PDP has begun to make. I know this doesn't sound right with a lot of people, but if we are going to do objective analysis, there has been a lot of progress being made by the Jonathan-led government. Let me take out the usage of party names, because I mean it makes no difference whichever party, whatever name each party calls itself. We've seen Atiku decide to move from PDP to APC. It means if he has been wrecking a lot of bad stuff in PDP, is bringing it down to APC, and seen a lot of party leaders in the APC saying that this is a good sign. Well, this is a bad sign. This is a bad sign, because if you're allowing the bad apples to mix with the good apples, and it's going to create problems for us. So on that note, I would like to draw attention to the fact that we should move our attention from parties to individuals, because that will put us in a better standing to ensure that we vote for the right person, and we influence the government or the political parties to present to us the right persons during election times. So more than anything, our active participation in political activities would get us to where we need to get to. And I mean, it is impressive what the Jonathan government is doing right now, and I think some of the results of that is the bad eggs in PDP leaving. But why not just let us leave them and not welcome them into the APC party, because the APC party candidate has some good standing, which a lot of people who have worked with him have known for a while. And I think attention should be paid to that. But most importantly, I'm concerned about those of us who are focused on bringing the change to the society by our activities. So one of the things I've not seen, for instance, and which we still need to involve ourselves in, is ensuring that we work with the government in implementing the laws that are being passed. Like the 50% tariff, we should be able to question the electrical marketers when they come to our doors and bring our bills. If you've been paying 5,000 before, you should be able to see a reduction by half. So you should be paying 2,500 naira. And the reason I'm concerned about this, and I'm not saying maybe Nigerians don't know what to do. I know Nigerians are smart. They are smart people. So, but what concerns me is that about 10 people that I've spoken to about how they feel about the tariff, their response to me was that, well, we just pray that God will allow the program to sail through. See, this is where we make mistake about how God makes things work. God creates an avenue for us and gives us a chance. What we need to do is to take that chance and put it to use. So as with respect to the 50% reduction in tariff, I would expect, and this is how I would tackle it, I would expect that we as individuals or at the landlord association level should create a united front and ensure that even before the end of the month, we've approached the NEPA offices or the PHCN offices and let them know that we're expecting that reduction, so they know that these people are already beginning to awake to their rights and they are beginning to ask questions. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying Nigerians don't know what to do, but we're just putting it out there because not everybody knows that they could go about it this way. And for those of us who know this is the way, don't shy away from carrying people along and influencing the units at the social units at the community level to take on these programs. Also, with regard to the criminal justice law, that is really impressive. But I believe with the way the law was spelled out in the papers, most of us will be looking for armed robbers carrying guns all around. But I tell you, we get robbed every day. The criminal justice law makes it a criminal act for anyone to collect money from another person under false pretenses. And this is what the police does at the checkpoint every day. So if the law is going to be implemented and go into full effect, the first set of people that should run foul of the law and should be put behind the bars are this people like the police officers who collect bribes. And you would understand that when we talk about corruption and its effect, we have come to understand that the effect of corruption is felt most not directly by the actions of the government up there, but by the actions of those who oversee the social institutions at the community level. Also, one area that law could be implemented in Nigeria is the area of the thugs who disturb us when we build our house, when we go out to build our houses in Nigeria. And by implication, they call them Omonile. Now, when Governor Fashola called out the federal government, counting the federal government as being responsible for the robbery that occurred in Lagos, I think that was unfair to the federal government, because I mean the Lagos state government watches all the policemen rob us every day anyway. And this robbers who robbed the bank in Lagos, you saw they came in police uniform. I mean, if we would look at the situation well, if the robbers can rob us at the checkpoints, what stops them from getting guns and robbing a bank? Are we sure it is not policemen who rob the bank for real? So that is the Lagos state government and the governments of all other states in Nigeria should pay attention to this. I think the checkpoint should be cancelled. It doesn't have except there had been an alert of a stolen vehicle or a robbers escaping. I don't see the reason why checkpoint should be a routine in the Nigerian society. This is where the criminal justice law should begin. The checkpoint should be eradicated totally. And when it is eradicated, we as citizens should expect that the bus fares should go down. I mean, considerably. And as with regards to the thug that come and force themselves as an institution to collect money that we cannot even justify from us when we go about to complete our housing projects. The federal government, I mean the state government and the federal government should work hand in hand and enforce the criminal law such that it becomes a crime for these thugs to storm your property when you are trying to build your houses and take money from you. At the same time, the criminal justice should be applied to medical practitioners in Nigeria. It should become a crime for any medical practitioner to refuse treatment to anybody brought to them based on the fact that money wasn't available. This medical practitioner should start sleeping behind bars if anybody dies on their watch and the reason for that death was because they refused to attend to such person on time. So these are corrupt practices and criminal acts going on every day. Lecturers and school administrators who refuse to release government money meant for the students to them, or who collect bribes in order to give grades, should fall foul of this law. And we should see a lot of lecturers and school administrators sleeping behind bars. I mean, I had one of my friends who resides here in the United States of America is trying to get his result from the Obafemi Awolowo University, and the woman in charge of getting the result to him has collected over 60,000 naira just to provide the result, and she still hasn't provided the results. These are the kind of people who should sleep in jail, because that is where corruption is at. And I would implore the youths and those of us getting active in bringing about social change, not to be too focused on political parties and political individuals, such that we forget that this is where the problem starts from. We should try to eradicate the problem at the grassroots first. because it will be hard to go after the big thieves. It will be hard to go after the big politicians who are corrupt. And you would see that play out. For instance, Tinubu, most people say yes, he's a thief and they know he's corrupt, but no one is able to go after him. And see, that's going to be like a wild chase. But we can start with these little thieves at the community level and make sure that we start cleaning things up from that level upward. So I was mentioning this to say that we should create this consciousness in our hearts, and that should be a focus that we should continue with even after the elections. Now, with regards to the elections, we have two big contenders, Jonathan and Buhari. I think the way it is now, Jonathan has awoken to his responsibility, and we are beginning to give him hard knocks. And you would observe that on all the videos we've posted that the AA2 project team has had posted previously. We've always offered constructive criticism, maybe too hard of criticisms, with regards to the Nigerian government and the Jonathan-led government. But he's beginning to wake up, and I think one of the reasons the current government is beginning to perform is because the politicians who cause problems in the PDP caucus are beginning to leave the party. But where are they heading to? They are heading to APC, which is a bad sign for the APC-led government. Buhari has credentials from the past, like one of the commentators mentioned on Facebook, that most of us don't even know is the things he has done. I mean, aside the fact that people say he's a dictator and is hard-hearted and is going to pursue a lot of people and put them in jail. I mean, well, you could pursue people and put them in jail, but we don't want to overlook the fact that we need to improve the economy, and we need to make things better for the citizens. Those are the things we should focus on. I don't think it should be his priority now to go after his enemies, because he's going to have many of them anyway. So he's also in a good standing, and our focus is not really to ensure that anybody gets in power. We understand very, very well that the political party doesn't determine, to a large extent, the progress the country makes. I think in a democratic setting, the progress of the country depends largely on how effective the citizens are and how much they're able to speak out and to force the hand of the law to bring the right dividends. I think one mistake a lot of people are making, and which our forefathers have made, is focus on parties. We don't need to focus on parties anymore. We need to focus on individuals. And when I say we need to focus on individuals, the electorates and the citizens of Nigeria need to understand that the election time is a time similar to a job interview. And with the elections are the bosses sitting on the desk and asking the candidates question. We are the one who want to employ this person to be the president of our country. And based on the precedent laid by Obasanjo, most people don't even regard this kind of fora. They believe, well, they don't need to attend those debates and express themselves and tell us the kind of programs they have for us. And I've seen a lot of shallowness in the APC. The APC candidate. I've not heard much from him, and my concern personally is that well, when Jonathan was campaigning for elections sometime back, we thought everything he said was gold. We thought it was going to bring us good luck, and I don't think we've learned so much from that. I see Buhari giving shallow answers and shallow responses to questions, meaning he doesn't have this in-depth plan for Nigeria. And I also think that Mr. Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is treading the path of Obasanjo when he manipulated Yaradua into the government, knowing that he was sick and he had health issues. I mean, this is a 72-year-old man. With all respect to age, is an elder, and we have respect for elders. I was brought up to respect elders also. I'm not being disrespectful to General Buhari, but I mean, you know what happens to your body at the age of 50. You know you don't have much to offer anymore. So putting that kind of person makes it sound like the rumor going around that there are plans later on to ensure that Buhari gets out of there so that Tinubu can become the vice president and Oshibajo becomes the president is maybe valid. And we should not shy away from allowing these parties and these politicians to watch their dirty linings in public. So like the documentary that was to be released on Tinubu, why not let them allow it to be released? And I'm not saying Tinubu has shied away from having that documentary released, but I mean the courts in Lagos put a ban on the release of that by the AIT. I think that is curbing the freedom of the press right there. And I wonder what would happen if Buhari comes into power and the APC is able to control the machinery of government. I wonder what they would do. I mean, those are not good signs. Those are not good signs. I think there's a lot fundamentally wrong and wrong in the APC party also, as much as the PDP, especially now that we're having influx of PDP members into APC and being welcomed. There's something terribly wrong. I believe we all have heard the phrase jumping from fry pan to fire. I just hope that's not what we're doing. And I believe all Nigerian citizens are reasonable enough to know what they want to do. So I want us to divest ourselves of belief in political parties. Rather, let us analyze individuals. Let us go back into our homes and reanalyze these things before we put our votes in the ballot boxes. Let us reason. Should we continue to put pressure on the current government and work with them and employ the APC to also put pressure on them and let the APC get their houses in order and give us a candidate in the next elections? I'm not saying we're gonna force this. It's too late for that anyway. So rather than jumping into something we're not even sure or certain of, so I believe a lot of good is in the pipeline for Nigerians, not because of any political party, but because we are beginning to get even active than ever before. And the AA2 project team is going to work with as many people as possible to ensure that we bring the actualization of the democratic dreams to Nigeria. I want to make it clear tonight that irrespective of whoever wins the election come March 28th, just like the United States government through the Vice President Joe Biden, as I'd mentioned, we will not stop in our efforts to ensure that we work with the people of Nigeria, work with the social institution, and we pressure the government to act like other democratic societies in the developed countries are working. We want to ensure that in 10 years time, whenever the name Nigeria is mentioned anywhere, people would think about improvement in technology, civility, and a progressive society, rather than thinking of hungry children, poverty, and Yahoo or internet fraud. We want to rebrand Nigeria. We want to give it a name, and we're not just going to rebrand it by just giving it makeup. We want to change it from inside out. So I want to assure those of us who have been having conversations around the elections that after the elections we still remain friends, and we will keep working together, and our participation should even increase after the elections. If Jonathan comes in, we wish him good luck. And if Buhari wins the election, we also wish him good luck. We pray that the elections will be peaceful, and that that God will grant us the efforts to continue in our quest. We put ourselves in harm's way by doing the things we do every day, but we understand that there's something greater than death, and that is not being able to deliver to our generation as expected of us. So once again, we are wishing that we would have safe elections in Nigeria. We're wishing that everyone would be civil. We're wishing that the outcome of the elections will bring blessings to Nigeria. Whether Jonathan continues in government or Buhari is able to get the ticket, we are not focusing on parties, we are focusing on individuals. So for the same set of people that have been offering criticisms that has been putting the PDP on its toes, we say don't stop, and make sure you turn over your cannons and your guns of words on the APC once they get in government. That is how we can get the rewards of a democratic dispensation from any given government. And to wrap it up, I would love to, I'm thanking every one of you. The AA2 project team is thanking all of you, and we are doing a lot of work behind the scenes, because the AA2 project is going to outlive us. It's going to continue into the late future, because this is our own contribution to our generation and the generations to come. So it's something that will continue even past the elections, and you are going to soon you are going to begin to see our works practically in the Nigerian society very soon. We have a lot of astounding programs out there, and we are beginning to work with stakeholders, and we are gaining the right support. So once again, we wish the Nigerian people safe elections. Let God decide for us. Let Him put the person that He wants us to work with in the next years in power, and let us shun all forms of violence. Let us not take on the street irrespective of whatever the results are. Let us accept it and focus on our future, rather than being short-sighted and thinking that the world ends around the result of the election. So whoever wins, Nigeria continues, and we continue in our pursuit of the dreams. Thank you very much. We wish once again the Nigerian people safe elections. Pray that there will be no civil unrest, and that this elections is going to usher us into a new era of peace and of progress and of improvements in economy, education, and health. And we pray that God bless every one of us, and God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you. God bless you. We'll talk again some other time. Bye.